Hi there. How you guys doing? It is December, the last month of 2025. Whew, we've made it. What a year it has been for many, right? But here we are. So December is actually a beautiful month, especially this year, because in numerology, it's the third month, which is ruled by Jupiter. Actually, Jupiter is also ruled by Sagittarius, which is Sagittarius season. Wow, not a coincidence, right? So Sagittarius is all about expansion, adventure, celebration, joy. So no wonder the holiday happened. Uh, Most of the holiday happens in December, which is Sagittarius season. So find time to celebrate, and especially with everything that happened this year, just disconnecting and celebrating with your loved ones. So again, happy birthday, Sag. Happy birthday, however you choose to celebrate that. Right. Also, yes. Happy Independence Day and National Day to all countries celebrating. Just to name a few for the first half, we have Finland, Romania, Tanzania, Kenya. So I'll post those under the description box, and then the second part I'll post that on my last video for this year or month. Anyways, so let's dive in. If you're returning, welcome back. If you're new, thank you for joining us here at the Divine Nurture community, where we discuss truthful, meaningful, and deep conversations. So you are welcome. So last time I discussed the seven chakras, which the last one talks about the crown chakra. The crown chakra is all about oneness, your connectivity to your higher self, and also your creator, God, right? Believing that everything and everyone is connected. So today I wanted to expand that topic by talking about the 12 universal laws that also connect us, whether we're aware of it or not. So despite our cultural differences and backgrounds, such as race, beliefs, and religion, we're all part of the same universe, right? So we are governed by the same universal law, which means we're all interconnected. So these laws are the practical mechanism behind our well-being. So, for example, so just like the chakras, if we're not kind of living by them, we feel disconnected to our whole being and our whole humanity. So I wanted to go one by one to discuss them, and also talk about how healing is tied into that, since healing is our theme here. So with that, I'm gonna go back and forth between looking at you at the camera and looking at my notes to make sure I don't miss any of my talking point. Okay. So let's dive into these 12 laws. So the first law is the divine oneness, which is all about connection. So understanding the divine oneness, it states that all things are interconnected and an extension of the same source energy. So meaning that separation is all an illusion, right? We're not separated. Like I said, whether society does a pretty good job on trying to separate us, we're all connected, we're all one. If one person is affected, uh, we're all affected. Just look around what's going on with all the violence that's going on around us and all the chaos. It's affecting us at a personal level, whether we want to admit it or not. So, another good example that I thought about is, for example, when a loved one is sad or going through something hard. You can feel it and sense that they're going through something, even if they don't share it. It's just energy. You kind of sometimes it's like, what's going on? They trying to brush it off, but deep down, something is off. So a healing application that can work with this law is start by remembering that you're never alone. Every act of kindness that you give or receive strengthens the web of connection that supports your well-being, right? So healing involves realizing that by helping others, you're also helping yourself. So an actionable exercise the kind of the act of kindness is a good one here. So doing a small act of kindness without expecting anything in return. So for me, like I said, just going probably at a grocery store and just smiling at someone, uh, that might change their mood for the entire day. They might be going through something, and just that simple smile or lending a hand without any expectation, that's also a good act of kindness. So what you give to other, you're also giving to yourself, right? Law number 2 is the law of vibration. So this one talks about energy, all about energy. So to understand this law, it states that everything in the universe is energy, vibration, vibrating at a specific frequency. So if you're vibrating at a higher frequency, of course, you attract higher frequency. But if you're uh, operating in a lower frequency, you attract that too to your life. So, for example, if you're excited, you feel energized, right? But if you're sad, you start your day with like anxiety and sadness. It carries you toward your whole entire day. So, one healing application for this would be healing begins when you choose to notice your energy instead of judging your emotions, right? I keep talking about emotions a lot because it's so important to heal. Allowing yourself to feel those emotions is so important. So, good ways, again, to, we're going to keep repeating this, good ways to help with that is meditation. Meditation does not mean, oh, you're sitting in a Buddha position and, close your eyes. Meditation, you can meditate while you're sitting down with your eyes wide open. It's just finding a quiet space to kind of help you think through your emotions, right? Deep breath, uplifting music. A lot of you like music, so put on music that's healing, or that feels good, that gives you that good upbeat energy, and that would do. And again, spending time in nature, of course, that works. So an actionable exercise, the 3-minute frequent shift. So anytime you feel physical pain or emotional distress, pause for a minute, right? Close your eyes and recall 3 things that you genuinely love. Just 3 things. So hold that feeling for like 3 minutes. You will see the consciousness would immediately shift. So just 3 things that makes you feel good, literally. Or it can be maybe your children, for example, or the work that you do, or taking that trip that you longed for a while. So just, think about that for 3 good minutes and just feel those sensations and how it made you feel. And immediately you see like your subconscious mind or your conscious mind like just shifting. So moving on into the third law, correspondence is the third law. So this is all about mirroring, right? So understanding, simply put, is your outer world mirrors your inner world, right? Your external reality is directly reflecting your internal thoughts, beliefs, and of course emotional states. So an example for this is if you secretly believe you're unworthy of success, you encounter an obstacle. Of course, that confirms that belief, right? Tied into the other 2 laws that I just discussed about. So a healing application for this is healing requires internal change first. I always say healing, is an internal job first. So you do not blame external circumstances, although they play a role into your healing journey, but do not move away from that. So once you move away from that, that's when you know that you are ready to genuinely heal, right? Take accountability to do that inner first step into going into that inner internal first healing. So focusing on clearing the internal emotion and mental clutter, right? Such as limiting belief that you have about yourself. That's a good application there. So an exercise that I talk about is like the inner weather check. So if life or external world feels chaotic, pause and ask yourself, what is the weather inside of you feeling right now? Is it cold? Is it warm? Is it stormy? So if you're feeling that warm, comfy, you know, inside of you, that's a good feeling. So literally shift that mental state, the deep breath, and again, sitting down and just continuing to think about those positive thoughts, right? Moving on into the fourth law, which is the law of attraction. So when we talk about the universal law, a lot of people know about the law of attraction. Yeah, I'm using the law of attraction to attract money, to attract like a good life and abundance. So this one is well known by many people. So this is more about focus. So understanding it is energy attracts energy. You attract into your life what you constantly feel, think, and believe, of course. So a good example would be if you start your day with appreciation and gratitude, those positive thoughts will follow you throughout the day. So healing application. So instead of constantly researching like symptoms, oh, okay. So this one, I thought about a person that's like literally constantly sick in their life. So whenever you ask them, oh, something is hurting them, or they kind of diagnose themselves before they even, see a doctor or anything. They're like, I think I have this. I think based on the research that I did, I think oh my gosh, they start freaking out. So you're literally attracting that energy into your life. You don't even know if you have it. So yes. So you literally attracting that into your life without realizing that you have it, and there you go. Next thing you know, you have it. So there's no need to kind of guess of symptoms that you might think, that you have. What about if you have a slightly headache, a slightly experiencing a slight headache? You say, okay, this too shall pass. I'll drink some water. I'll take some rest, and and eat good, and all is well. But if you have a migraine or headache and you start thinking, oh my gosh, my blood pressure might be high, or such and such, you attract that into your life. So let's stop that negative thinking, right? So an actionable exercise, the daily magnet. Use positive affirmation to actively shift your attracting frequency towards well-being. For example, use like affirmations such as, today I attract abundance, today I attract love, I attract peace, I attract harmony. You get the gist. Law number 5, inspired action is all about flow. So understanding this law, it's good to have positive thoughts and trust that you can attract what you desire. But taking action, even a smaller one, can lead into open doors and major opportunities. So for example, if you want to lose weight, you need to have more than words of affirmations, right? So you have to act on that. So just sitting there and saying, you know, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. I'm going to lose 50 pounds. And you're sitting in your bed and saying that without any action behind that, my dear, it's going to be hard to move past that, right? So you got to think about what are the actionable steps you need to be taking daily to get you to that goal. And then, of course, followed by affirmations, and you attracting that into your life. So healing application, listening and trusting to your body too, going off of that same example, is crucial before taking action. So ensuring that your action aligns with your higher healing vibration is important. An actionable exercise for this, the gentle step. So think of one goal or habit that you want to accomplish and focus on that. Ask yourself, what is one small action that can help you to achieve that goal, right? So for example, me, I like to use the one with weight loss because I'm always wanting to kind of shred a few pounds. So just taking those small steps, what can I do? So when I wake up, I don't need 3 meals a day. Start by drinking water. get through that intermittent fasting until probably 12:01, have my first meal, go for a walk or a jog, and then eat around 6 or 7. That's it. That's 4 to 5 hours before bed. I don't need to be eating anymore. So yeah, and also portion control, which is a bit hard for me, but step by step, that's how we get there. So number 6, the law of perpetual transmutation of energy, right? That one was hard to say. Change. Perpetual transmutation of energy is all about change. So understanding this law, energy is always on motion and constantly changing. So we're transmitting from one form to another. So an example, think of a person that is angry. If they're unaware of mindful, this mood can be transmitted to a calm one, right? By going for a walk and engaging. But if you're not aware of it, it's gonna, affect you and also the people around you. So an healing application for this would be, healing occurs when you consciously transform heavy energy into something supportive and fulfilling. So you are not defined by your current circumstances. So again, life is a free will, life is a choice. So you willingly choose to feel the way that you feel. Of course, we all go through pain, we all go through grieving, but people handle it differently. We all are wired to handle things differently, but what we do have power over is our choices and our free will and how we move forward with those circumstances those circumstances when they are presented to us. Law number 7. Oh, actually, I didn't talk about the actionable exercise. See, that's why I need to follow this talking point. So the actionable exercise for the perpetual transmission of energy law is use movement. So to transform the heavy energy you're experiencing, like dancing, jogging, a warm shower can help you while repeating positive mantra affirmation, right? So this one is all about movement and change to help you think through those actions. Okay. Law number 7, cause and effect, is all about responsibility. So every effect you see in your life also has a cause, whether that's a thought, belief, or action. By this point, you get the gist on that. This law reminds us that nothing happens by chance. I already told you guys I do not believe in consequences. It's not because there's a law, it's based on experience. I have, thought about most of things that happen in my life, and if I trace it back, I realize it was not a coincidence. Every action that happened, or every step, there's a reason why it happened. Sometimes I get the answer right away, and sometimes it just takes time. But at the end, I realize, wow, that was not a coincidence. This happened so that X, Y, and Z could have happened, or this happened so that I can reach to a certain path that I need to reach, that aligns with, of course, my goals and my purpose. So an example is simple as poor sleep can result in frequent tension and headache and effect. That's also, I use that example because it affects me personally. I try to use personal example because they're personal, it's easier for me to kind of relate. But I know if I sleep less than 5 hours or 6 hours, all day I'll feel light headaches, unable to focus on my task. It's just, I feel so uncomfortable within my own self and own body. So I know that's the effect of not sleeping, getting those 7 hours sleep or more. So healing application for this one, healing deepens when you take full responsibility for your energy without judgment, right? You don't judge yourself too. So if you do it and it's not what you anticipated, be kind to yourself and move on and say, okay, I'll do better. But find ways to do better instead of judging yourself, right? What are the underlying destructive belief or habit that are causing whatever that's being caused? In other words, to heal the effect, identify the changes that needs to be changed. Actionable exercise, the daily cause audit. So at the end of each day, note down one negative effect you experienced throughout. For example, I feel angry or irritated. Now trace it back to the cause. What made you feel that anger or that irritation? Perhaps you had an argument with someone that left you, ugh, that's the cause, which resulted in your anger and irritation. Not worth it at all. Not worth it, my people. Law number 8, compensation, the balance of giving and receiving. I love this one. You reap what you sow, of course. Understanding this energy, the energy's effort and value you put out will return back to you. Kindness, good or bad, right? Example, if you're generous with your time, opportunity and blessing comes to you, whether that's today, the same day that you did the good deed, or weeks from now, months from now, years from now, it eventually comes back. Sometime, if it's a year from now, you kind of question, what have I done to deserve this? Oh, you have done quiet. You have done something to deserve that good deed. You have. You just don't remember it. Yes. So healing application. So healing expands when you give from a genuine heart rather than from a fear obligation. And also when you give, there's no need to receive, to repeat that or go around and telling people, or I gave them X, Y, and Z. Forgiveness is for you and God. You're doing it for you, not for that person or for you to brag about it. Otherwise, what's the point of giving? Humble yourself. In the same way, consciously open yourself to receiving without expectation attachment. I had a hard time with this, right? I don't have a hard time with giving. If I can, I'll do it. Sometimes even if I don't, I try to be good. But then if you're trying to return that, I'm like, what are you expecting? You want to give me something? What are the expectations from this? So anyways, so that's something I have to learn. I continue to learn, and allowing people to receive from others without thinking there's something in return they want from me. Good one. Actionable exercise, the giving receiving journal. So write one thing that you gave today. Was it your time? Was it your attention? Was it your money? 3 important things that you cannot take back, especially time, and money and your attention, right? Then think of one thing you received and kind of weigh down the balance. Law number 9, relativity perspective. Understanding this law, everything in life is relative, right? No situation is purely good or bad, right? That's not how we want to look at it. This all reminds us that challenges are opportunities for growth. Again, like I said, nothing is coincidence. We all eventually is going to go through some form of pain, some form of challenges, difficulties, trial and tribulation. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. It's just part of life. And that'll help you, and failure, and that actually helps you to kind of grow into this person that you are today. If you start thinking like that, instead of, feeling self-pity or judging yourself for something that you haven't done, it's just an experience. It's just a life lesson. Take the lessons and move on, huh? So an example, missing a plane or a bus can be frustrating. Trust me, you were not meant to be in that plane. You were not, there's a reason why, there was that delay to not get into that plane. Perhaps that plane went on and got into a crash. God forbid, but it could have happened. But it was in your time, but yet you were feeling frustrated because you felt like you were in a rush to get there. There's no there's no reason to rush. You were not meant to be in there. So, healing application. See healing by reframing difficulty and challenges as opportunities for growth. Accept the situation and use gratitude to overcome your challenge. If you go through a challenge, can you sit down and kind of say, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for that difficulty. What are you trying to teach me? Where are you trying to, what lesson can I take away from this so I can become the best version of myself instead of getting frustrated and throwing tantrums? And that's something to think about. Actionable exercise, the reframing challenge. Write down one challenge difficulty that you experience, right? Now try to reframe it by asking yourself, what wisdom, what wisdom or opportunities is this experience teaching me that I would have not gained otherwise? What is it trying to teach you? That's the most important thing. Huh? Law number 10. Polarity opposites, right? Understanding this law. Everything has an opposite: hot, cold, light, dark, health, sickness, strength, weaknesses. This law helps us find the balance and acceptance. So, an example: a challenging day can make a peaceful moment feel even sweeter. Think of a day you had, and all that you want to do is get home, and that's when you realize, oh my gosh, I have a home. What a difficult day. All I want to do is go home, be cozy, have a good meal, and relax. And if you have a loved one, relax with them, right? That's all you want. So, a healing application. Healing begins when you embrace both sides of your experiences. It's not about eliminating the negative. And again, you don't want to eliminate, you want to embrace it and kind of find ways to help you overcome that and grow. But also about moving your focus and energy toward the positive one. Again, accept and embrace both sides of the spectrum. You do not leave the other side just to make you feel better. Actionable exercise. The spectrum flip identifies. I lack money, health, relationship. So recognize that weakness is one end of the spectrum. So now recall a time you felt abundant. You had the money, positive relations, but by consciously focusing on what's positive, you pull your vibration toward that desirable state. Hi, sorry about that. The camera got cut off. Not sure what happened, but we were on the law of the cycles rhythm. So law 11. So I go back to that and get back. So yeah, like as I was saying, understanding this law, everything moves in predictable cycles, pattern, and season. So just like the four seasons, our life also are all about seasons, right? So spring, summer, fall, and winter. So some seasons are slower than the others, some are more actionable than the others. So do not fight the season that you're in. Embrace it and know that that too shall pass. Just go with the flow of life and understand that nothing is permanent. So for example, you might be experiencing low motivation today. Tomorrow you might not have that same day. So instead today focus on what can you do to make the day feel better and move with a flow, and think that tomorrow is a brand new day to start new. Healing application for this. So honor your body's cycle rhythm during healing. Again, do not fight any period of low energy by forcing yourself to be productive. If you're tired, just rest. There's a reason why you're tired and your body need to repair, and know and trust your body's need. So actionable exercise. Check your cycles. Are you in a cycle where you need rest, but yet you keep pushing yourself to do more? Stop fighting the rhythm of rest and remember yourself. If you take time to rest now, your body might feel more energized later on. So accept the season that you are, as stated. Last but not least, law 12 is it's all about gender and balance. So understanding this law means everything has masculine and feminine energies, which we'll talk about at a separate video. But masculine is all about action. Feminine is reception, like receiving, doing versus being, right? So balancing between the two is key to keeping harmony in your life and creativity, of course. So let's think about painting, for example. You want to use your creativity, which is your feminine side, to paint, followed by a burst of focus and performing the action itself, which is masculine energy. So both are needed to bring the ideas into realities. So healing application for this is healing is supported when you honor and balance. Sorry about the noise again. Healing is supported by honoring your balance by both sides, allowing energies to flow naturally and restore equilibrium. So an actionable exercise is the energy balance. Before you start your day, assess the energy that you're feeling and ask yourself. So I'm gonna just read these. Am I using too much masculine, too much doing, pushing? Choose a feminine action. Spend time in flow. Nurture yourself. Or am I using too much feminine? Too much being procrastinating, right? Sometimes you feel like just staying on that feeling, like just being doing nothing. It leads to procrastination and not being productive throughout the whole day. So choose a masculine action. Set a clear schedule and achieve what's needed. So with that, here you have the 12 law of the universe. So you now have the power to understand these 12 law and how they serve as the foundation of your healing journey. Again, healing is an inside job and it takes time to get there. So be gentle with yourself. So every choice, every thought, every emotion we carry internally is energy that sets the universal mechanism in motion. So by consciously choosing to raise your vibration and comes back into balance, you start directing your energy toward wellness and your well-being and your optimal health. So you can use an exercise. I provided actionable exercises, but you can start by practicing your healing journey. Select, let's say, one law that you resonate with more deeply or with your current situation and challenge yourself. Then apply that into the law of the principle that I discussed. So or you're already using one of those laws or all of them. So whatever works out for you. With that, my beautiful community, it's nice seeing you. It's nice coming here and sharing with you. So I hope it resonates or it helps someone out there. I'll talk to you again before the year ends. Ciao, ciao.